We are continuing to follow that breaking news. Protesters once again on the streets of Portland as we speak, and a curfew is now in effect. That started a few hours ago at 8 o'clock.
Let's go back out live right now from one of our crews in downtown Portland tonight.
Yeah, here's a live look from the ground from one of our crews. And what you're seeing here, something I don't think any of us really expected. You just saw a giant truck, and it has the words peace and sort of some positive, inspiring messages on the side. So this is at Pioneer Courthouse Square. And earlier tonight, we saw people dancing. It was a very positive message out there this evening. So kind of a block party is what our reporters were saying.
Here's another view from one of our crews there on the ground as well. You can see Pioneer Courthouse Square is completely filled. In fact, it's spilling over onto the streets adjacent to that Portland living room, as we like to call it. And this is a view from the air right now, as you can see just how many people have filed into that square, and everybody remaining peaceful, remaining calm. And it has been a protest that has kind of gone all around Portland today, from southeast through kind of the Pearl District area down to where they are now. And we're happy to say, if you're just joining us and haven't seen any of our coverage, it has been extremely peaceful, and there has been quite a few dialogues that have been opened that we've been able to capture on camera between police and protesters tonight.
Yeah, and just so many people out there. Our Audrey Wheel was saying she doesn't know if she's ever seen this big a crowd in Portland's living room. And we know that the Justice Center is right around this area. That place, the Justice Center, this right here, this radius, this is the boundary that's blocked off. So no one can drive through this area or walk through this area. Police have this area, I think, pretty much fenced off. So that's right there from 5th over to 1st and between Taylor and Jefferson. So no one is allowed to go in there tonight. And again, that curfew started at 8 o'clock, but that really seems like it's the last thing on officers' minds right now.
Right, and so this boundary right here is basically protecting the Justice Center and the court building side of kind of where these protests have really been centered on. And so this gives them a little buffer zone, and it has worked tonight so far. Right. We want to get to Fox 12's Audrey Wheel right now. She is there at Pioneer Courthouse Square. She's been following these guys as they've marched around the city today. Still calm out there, Audrey?
Yeah, still calm. There's a good energy. We just heard this whole crowd cheering. We'll give you another look at this peace truck, because there's nothing really better to call it. It says peace right there on the front of it. It's decked out with all sorts of messages and those American flags, and people who are here up at the top are just, you know, speaking to the crowd, some messages of positivity and hope, and everyone just seems to be a captive audience, soaking it all in and reacting with everything they say. And you mentioned that big section of downtown that's closed right now, and that's just a few blocks away from us, and that's where we've seen the police that we've seen tonight. And you'd really just never know it, because the protesters are really focused on what they're doing here, and their message here, we've heard over and over again tonight from so many people here that they want it to be calm, they want it to be positive, they don't want anything that could detract from their message, they don't want any violence, any rioting, or anything of that nature. Every time one person maybe does one thing that the crowd doesn't like, everyone else jumps in and says, peaceful protest, stop it, knock it off. And so that's what we're seeing, is just this crowd. You can hear them all clapping. They're just cheering, hanging out, having a good time. We haven't really seen police over here in this area. And so that's what's going on. There's even this line of cars behind them with people up out of the sunroof and stuff, joining the protesters that way. And we've seen so many tweets from Portland police tonight just saying thank you so much for keeping it peaceful. So that's what's going on.
And Audrey, I know it's really loud right now, but have you seen many police officers? Because from our perspective on the ground here, we really haven't seen any kind of police cruisers go by or anything like that. So it seems like they're giving this giant crowd a lot of space.
Absolutely. The only place where we've seen a lot of police officers is within that closed-off perimeter. We did see maybe a handful of them inside the actual courthouse building here, and they did come out at one moment when one of the protesters threw something. And then, you know, everyone else in the crowd told that one person, hey, knock it off, don't do that. And things calmed down. And then the police officers that we saw went back inside. So really, police are letting these protesters do their thing, as long as they keep it peaceful, of course.
That's right. And police have told us earlier, as long as people keep it peaceful, as long as they don't cause any trouble, they're not going to worry about the curfew that now is a couple of hours old. It went into effect at 8 o'clock. Okay, Audrey, thank you. We will get back to you in a little while.
All right, I believe our Fox 12's Haley Rush is also on the ground near that same area, Pioneer Courthouse Square. Haley, can you hear us, and can you tell us what you're seeing right now?
Well, the majority of demonstrators are here right now, and as you can see, they're starting to get up and leave this area. This has been where they've been for the past 30 minutes or so, and they've just been peaceful. They've wanted it. Like Audrey said, it's calm here. If anyone does anything or tries to do something, they say peaceful protest. Police have been around, but definitely on the outskirts. You'll see them, you know, a couple blocks away, but not around this area. They're giving them space, and as you can see, everyone's kind of leaving this area. We'll definitely you know, catch up with them and see where they're headed next, but everything here has just been peaceful, calm, and there's been dancing, there's been speakers, and it looks like everyone's dispersing now. And we followed, you know, a very, very big group from Southeast Portland today. That was a block party there where it was a vengeance for George Floyd and everyone who's been harmed by the police. And then they walked here, they met up with another big group, and that's what you have been seeing here at the courthouse tonight.
Okay, well, this is going to be interesting now. As you can see, all the people that were in Pioneer Courthouse Square appear to be on the move. The question is, where are they moving to? And we will check that out as it develops right here.
Yeah, and we mentioned that there's been a lot of dialogue between protesters and police tonight. In fact, just after 8:30 this evening, protesters spoke with officers through a fence. We were witnessing to that, and they asked to march near the Justice Center. Those officers, though, said that that can't happen. Yeah,
there were inmates in the Justice Center. They needed to keep them safe. So some of the crowd became upset, and one protester basically asked everybody to stay calm.
If we cannot police ourselves, they are going to police us. Does everybody understand that? The moment we incite violence, they incite violence. Yes, they have incited violence before us. That does not give us the right to be less than them and incite violence back or first. We need to keep the peace. We need to show that we are in control of ourselves and the situation, or they will attempt to take control. They do not have enough people to take control, so that means using tear gas, concussion grenades, and flash grenades. I don't know about y'all, but I don't like choking on tear gas.
I need everyone to take a step back from the fence now.
We also spoke with another organizer earlier tonight, talking about protesters who disagree about remaining peaceful right now and about how he's getting his message to them across.
I've been telling them that they're not wrong for how they feel, but they got to understand that if you take that anger in your heart and you put that anger in your chest, then you're doing that for yourself. You're not doing that for the cause, and that's okay. We all have our own individual rights to be mad, but you got to have your own accountability for that as well. You cannot say you're doing that for the cause when you're really doing it for you. The cause needs peace. The cause needs love. The cause needs change, not anger. You have anger and you want to let it out, so that's why you are doing these things. That's why you are rioting. That's why you are setting fires, because you are mad, not because the cause needed. And I hope everybody who sees this knows that.
And we've seen many powerful images just like this today. Our Fox 12's Brenna Kelly shot this video of protesters lying down at Pioneer Courthouse Square. This was earlier today. They're chanting out, "I can't breathe," and many put their hands behind their backs, and they laid there for about 9 minutes, and that's not the only time that we saw this kind of act tonight.
Yeah, earlier a large group of protesters gathered right there on the Burnside Bridge. They got on the ground. They were silent for 9 minutes. That's about how long the Minneapolis police officer had his knee on George Floyd's neck.
Our cameras also caught this on video. Officers delivering bags of food and bottles of water for protesters. This video is from earlier today, this afternoon. The liaison officers helped the protesters transport that supplies from downtown to the waterfront.
There's also been a big cleanup effort over the last several days as these protests continue. Local nonprofit Solve is organizing a downtown Portland cleanup for tomorrow morning. They will be joined by business owners and others who are going to sweep glass, pick up garbage, and clear sidewalks. Solve will provide trash bags, litter grabbers, and gloves, but volunteers are asked to wear a mask and bring any other cleaning supplies they may have. Now, if you want to help out, we do have a link on our website, kptv.com. And we're keeping a close eye on all these protests. We're going to keep bringing you live updates with our crews there on the ground. Again, they were in Pioneer Courthouse Square for much of the night so far. They're on the move, and we'll keep track of where they're going.